Welcome to Mother Cluckers. My name is Debbie. One of the biggest myths about backyard chickens is that you need a rooster for hens to lay eggs. You do not need a rooster for hens to lay eggs. Hens lay eggs all on their own, naturally. Just like women have menstrual cycles without needing to be pregnant, it's a biological rhythm based on hormones and daylight, not a rooster. So if you're raising hens and you're just looking to collect eggs to eat, you do not need a rooster at all. A hen's body produces an egg almost every 24 to 26 hours. The process starts in the ovary where the yolk is released. It then travels down the reproductive tract, gaining the egg white, the membranes, and finally the shell. This process happens whether or not there's a rooster around. If there is a rooster and he mates with a hen, the sperm can fertilize the egg while it's still inside her body. But even then, that egg won't start developing into a chick until it's incubated, either by the hen sitting on it for about 21 days or by a machine incubator. So even fertilized eggs are perfectly safe to eat as long as they haven't been kept warm long enough to start growing. Another myth is that fertilized eggs taste different. That's false. Most people can't tell the difference at all. In fact, in most cases, people have been eating fertilized eggs without even knowing it, especially if they're buying from small farms or backyard flock keepers who keep roosters. Here's a quick fact about fertility you might not know. After mating, a hen can store a rooster's sperm in her body for up to 2 weeks, sometimes even longer. That means even if the rooster is removed from the flock, the hen might still lay fertilized eggs for several days. A broody hen is one that decides she wants to hatch her eggs. She'll stop laying and start sitting on a clutch of eggs all day, barely getting up to eat or drink. Here's the thing, a hen will go broody whether the eggs are fertilized or not. It's instinct. So you could have a hen sitting on unfertilized eggs for weeks, hoping they'll hatch, but they never will. That brings us to another misunderstanding. Some people think their eggs have gone bad when they crack one open and see a white spot on the yolk. That little white dot is called the germinal disc. Every egg has it. If the egg was fertilized, that disc will be more defined, but if not, it's just part of a normal egg. It's not a sign of rot or spoilage. Some hens will lay eggs with double yolks. This isn't rare, especially in young hens just starting out. These eggs are still perfectly safe to eat, but they almost never hatch, even if they're fertilized, because the embryo would have to compete with the second yolk. So why do people keep roosters at all if hens lay eggs without them? Because roosters can be helpful in quite a few ways. They protect the flock by keeping their watch and alerting hens of predators, and they keep the peace in the flock by enforcing the pecking order. And if you want to hatch chicks, you obviously need fertilized eggs, which requires a rooster. But they're also noisy. Crowing doesn't just happen in the morning. It can happen all day, and they can be aggressive, especially with kids or people they don't trust. So for many backyard chicken keepers, especially in suburban areas, roosters aren't worth the trouble. Now let's talk about eggs and storage for a second. If you're gathering eggs daily and not incubating them, it doesn't matter whether they're fertilized or not. Just keep them cool and clean, and you can eat them just like any other egg. In fact, in many countries, eggs aren't even refrigerated. They're just kept at room temperature as long as the bloom, the natural protective coating, isn't washed off. That leads to another myth, that washing an egg makes it cleaner. In truth, washing removes the bloom, which is a natural barrier that helps keep bacteria out. Once that's gone, the egg needs to be refrigerated. So if you want your eggs to last longer on the counter, don't wash them unless they're visibly dirty. And even then, wipe gently with a dry cloth if you can. So the bottom line is that hens will lay eggs without roosters. Those eggs are perfectly normal, safe, and delicious. Roosters are only needed if you want baby chicks. Fertilized eggs won't develop unless they've kept warm for several days. And both fertilized and unfertilized eggs can be eaten safely. There's no difference in taste or nutrition. Sometimes hens will lay eggs in weird places, under bushes, behind tools, even in flower pots, especially if they don't like the nesting boxes. And if you do have a rooster, your hens might get more secretive about laying, especially if they're planning to go broody. So always check the yard carefully if your egg count suddenly drops. You might just find a hidden nest full of surprises. Some hens do have favorite nesting boxes, and they will wait in line for them. Even if there are 5 empty boxes, they'll crowd into one, take turns, or sometimes even sit on top of each other like it's a chicken traffic jam. And yes, chickens can be drama queens. If another hen dares to lay in her spot, she might squawk about it for a good 10 minutes. They have preferences, habits, and full-blown attitudes. Some hens sing the egg song after laying an egg, a loud, proud, cackling announcement to the world. Why? No one really knows. Maybe they're bragging, maybe they're telling the others to come check it out, but it's noisy and hilarious. And if you've ever seen a hen kick straw and fluff the nest before laying, congratulations, you just watched chicken interior decorating. They'll rearrange everything just right before settling in like a little feathery queen. Broody hens will sometimes make soft clucking noises to their unhatched chicks, and yes, chicks can hear from inside the egg. They'll sometimes chirp back just before hatching. No matter how much you learn, chickens will always surprise you. They're funny, curious, and smarter than most people think. Once you've had backyard chickens, it's hard to imagine life without them. In our flock, we have 4 roosters, 1 rooster for every 10 hens. At first, we did this because we wanted to hatch our own baby chicks, but once we saw how the roosters acted with the flock, we realized they were doing so much more. Now we feel lost without them. Roosters play an important part in our flock. They keep watch, alert the hens when there's danger, and guide them to food. We've seen them step between a predator and the hens, even chase off hawks. It's like having full-time bodyguards in the yard. They also help keep the peace. With a strong rooster around, there's less bickering among the hens. They step in if a hen is being bullied or if things get too rowdy. It's like they're keeping order in the group, and they're great communicators. We've watched our roosters call the hens over when they find a snack or when it's time to go into the coop. They don't just stand around, they lead. We originally brought roosters in for chick hatching, but now we understand their full value. They're protectors, peacekeepers, leaders, and honestly part of the family. As always, we thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.